Students, we are going to learn part 2 of chapter 2 for standard 7, plant, structure and function. So come along, let's learn and enjoy it. Hey, this video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share and subscribe. Now, in the earlier part of the lesson, we had done a small experiment where we had sprouted some beans, okay? And when we sprouted, we noticed that there are two hair-like structures that come out. One we had learnt that goes deep into the soil, and that is called the radicle, which form this root system. And the other part that grows above the soil, it is called the plumule. And this plumule then forms into the stem of the plant. The little plumule then grows into the stem and it will grow into a thick, sturdy mm, bark, and then branches will come out of it. And so then we'll have the full fledged plant growing from that little plumule. Let's learn the different parts of the stem. Now, look at the picture given alongside. You will notice the part marked as nodes. Now, these are little tiny knot like structures which grow, and from this part, leaves will grow. Now, these nodes will grow at a little distance from each other, and the space between two nodes is called the internode. And we have the top, that is the tip of the plant. So, that is called the apical end, and it is also called the apical bud, which will further grow and the plant will become bigger and bigger. Please do this activity and complete this chart. Collect information of various plants in your locality, or whichever. If you don't have, you living in a city or a town and you don't have information about the plants, you can go to the internet and find out the information about the thickness of the node and the length of the internode of various plants. Now, two of them are mentioned, that is sugarcane and fenugreek. You can add as many plants to your list and find out and make a detailed study about it. So, you could find out more information by visiting our website at www.jkacademypro.com. Let's learn about the leaf. Now, leaf grow from the node of a stem. Now, we had learnt about the nodes when we learnt about the parts of the stem. So, these are the little knot-like structures that grow on the stem. Now, these form the leaves. Now, leaves in general, most of the leaves in general are thin, they are flat, and they are green in color. Now, some of the leaves may differ. Now, the broad part, that is the plain part that is spread out, that part of the leaf is called the leaf blade or the lamina. And the edge, that is the margin of the leaf, is called the leaf margin. That the side part of the leaf is called the leaf margin. We find leaves in different shapes and sizes. Now, if you look at the edge, that is the margin of the leaf, some of the margins of the leaf are entire, that is complete. Okay, so they are the entire. Now look at the second picture. You will find that there are tiny dents. They are not smooth. It's not going round smooth. Okay, so these are called the dentate. And the third type are called the lobed. You can see it in the third picture that is given. So these are the three different types of leaves that we find, and that is how they have been identified. Look at the picture alongside and follow my explanation. Now, the tip of the leaf, that is the topmost part of the leaf, is called the leaf apex. It may be tapering, rounded, or pointed. Now, we know that leaves are of different shapes and sizes. So, according to how the shape and size is, the leaf apex could be of different shapes. The leaves of some plants have a stalk called a petiole, that is a stem-like structure. So, that part, that small little tiny stalk, is called the petiole. And leaves of some plants do not have a petiole at all. So they will directly grow from the part of the stem. The portion of the leaf attached to the stem is called the leaf base. That is where it gets attached to the stem, that part. So that part is called the leaf base. And small leaf-like structures may be present near the leaf base, and these are called the stipules. So follow that in the picture alongside. And apart from all these parts, we will also find the veins that are there for the leaf, and it will have a middle vein, and then there are small veins branching out from these veins. So we have the veins also as part of the leaf. Let's learn about the different types of leaves based on the leaf blade or the lamina. Now, leaves of some plants have a single undivided leaf blade and a single midrib that you can see in the picture. Okay, so one leaf blade and one midrib. Such leaves are called simple leaves. Whereas the leaf blade of leaves in some plants is divided into small parts called leaflets. You can see in the picture giving alongside. Such leaves are called compound leaves. So, simple leaf and compound leaf are the two main types of leaves that we find. Do this activity. Observe a branch of plants like rose, neem, coriander, hibiscus, and many other plants that is there around the surroundings. So, in different plants, the arrangement of leaves on the stem is different. So, you have to notice it very carefully. It may be alternate, that is, one this side, one that side. It could be opposite, okay? It could be whirled. Whirled means going round in a circle. Or spiral. Spiral, it is again round but like a spring like structure. So, according to the shape, the leaves are given names. So, leaves are rounded, that is obovate, and palmate, lanceolate, or linear. So, these are the different types of names given according to the how the leaves grow on the stem. Let's learn about the veins that we find on the leaf blade. Now, for this, try this. Take a people leaf and a maize leaf and observe them carefully. In the people leaf, you will find that there is one main vein that is coming and dividing the leaf blade into two parts. And this mid vein, it passes through the middle of the leaf. And then you will find that there are secondary veins that come out of this main vein, and they spread out, and then there is a network of veins that forms. So there are tiny, tiny, tiny veins forming from this secondary vein. So this network of veins is called the reticulum. Whereas in the maize leaf, we will find a mid vein and other veins growing parallel to this mid vein and parallel to each other. So that is, all the veins go from the leaf base to the leaf apex, that is from the base of the leaf to the tip of the leaf. They are all running parallel to each other. So such type of venation is called the parallel venation. You can do this fun activity. Take a people leaf that is fallen down and soak it in water for 15 to 20 days. After 15 to 20 days, remove it out of the water and dry it. So, when you dry it, you will find a network of these veins. Then you can paint it and make a greeting card out of it, gift it to someone. So, do try this activity. Try this activity. Complete the following chart by observing the plants around you. So go around and whatever plants you find, look at the leaves. Especially this activity is to find the leaf and the stem and the petiole. So look at the leaf part of it and jot down whatever information you get, and then you can compare it. You can check with your answers at our site at www.jkacademypro.com. To know more about the flower, let's take a shoe flower, or it is called a hibiscus flower, and observe it very, very carefully. Now, detach all the parts very slowly and carefully. That is, remove each part of the flower and observe and study them very carefully. You will notice that flowers may have a long or a short stalk called the pedestal. That is, that little green color part that grows from the stem. So, that part is called the pedestal. And one end of the pedestal is attached to the stem, and the other part of the pedestal is expanded or swollen. That is little fat, it is little expanded, and it is called the receptacle. Now, petals and other parts of the flower are supported on the receptacle. That is, all the other parts of the plant grow from this part. Now, calyx, corolla, andresium, and gynecium are different parts of the flower which we will study in detail. Calyx. Now, in the bud condition, that is when the flower is still in a form of the bud, the petals are covered by leaf-like part called the sepal, which are green in color. So they form the calyx part of the flower. Corolla. This is made up of colorful parts called petals. Now observe the shape, color, smell of the corolla of various flowers like the rose, chrysanthemum, hibiscus, mogra, canher, tagar, etc. So we'll notice that different flowers have different petals, different colors, as well as they give a fragrance and they have different smell. Andresium. This is the male reproductive part of the flower and it consists of the stamens, and each stamen is made up of anther and filament. Gynecium. This is the female reproductive part of the flower. Now, this is made up of carpels, and the carpel consists of stigma, style, and ovary. Now, take a hibiscus flower and cut it vertically with the help of the blade. Okay, so you will see that both the parts of the flower are the same, that is both the section. So you have to cut it very, very carefully so that you can understand the various parts of the flower. There are pollen grains present in the anther. Now, when the flower matures, that is, it has fully grown, these anthers will burst open and all the pollen grains are released. So, they fall on the stigma of the flower. And this process is called the pollination. Now, due to pollination, ovules, that is the egg cells in the ovary, get fertilized, and fertilized ovules form the seeds, and the ovary later on develops into a fruit. So therefore this is how the flower gets converted into a fruit of the tree. Use your brain power and think about this question. Of what use to a plant are the insects flitting about around its flowers? Now observe many flowers around your vicinity and complete the following chart. You could check your answers by going to our website at www.jkacademypro.com. Fruits. Now, we eat many different types of fruits, and each fruit has its own characteristics. That is, it has own features. Their shape, color, taste, size, everything differs. Now, mango contains only one seed, whereas jackfruit consists of small, tiny fruits in it. Those are called the fruitlets, and each has its own seed. Observe different kinds of fruits and jot down your observation in your notebook. So, observe fruits like pear, mango, chiku, apple, etc. What do you notice? Each fruit has a different skin or shell, fleshy part, and seed. Now, in case of fruits like cashew, its seed is outside the fruit. So, note down all the different things that you see in the various fruits and note down, and then you can compare your answer with your friends. Try this activity. Soak the seeds of pea, wheat, rice, jawar, groundnut in water for a few hours. 3 to 4 hours would be sufficient. Now, after 3 to 4 hours, press the seeds with your fingers and observe them. So, which seeds get divided into two equal parts and which seeds did not divide into two equal parts? So, observe and jot down your notifications in a piece of paper. Seeds which get divided into two equal parts are called dicotyledonous seeds, and seeds which do not divide into two equal parts are called monocotyledonous seeds. The word di means two parts and mono means single. So, a seed that can be divided into two parts are called dicotyledonous, and seeds that remain single, for example, are rice, are wheat. So, they are single part. So, they are called monocotyledonous seeds. I hope you enjoyed learning this lesson. To check your answers to the textual questions, please visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com.